Lynette Howard is my mother's across-the-street neighbor. Leah, hi. Sorry, did we just barge in on your order? Dylan, don't lick the display case. Marcus, stop pinching Arlo. As she spoke, she deftly separated two of her children and swiped at the remains of Dylan's tongue print on the front of the case. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Schimmelman. If you have a cloth and some spray, I'll wipe that off. And please go ahead, get Leah's order. No, that's okay. You go ahead. I'll just take a look at the paper and catch up. A copy of the Himmel Times Weekly sat on the counter, and I grabbed it and moved to a nearby table. Thank you. It's probably better for everyone if we get out as quick as possible. How's your aunt doing? And when's her mother due back? The boys, having made their selections, were vibrating with anticipation as Mrs. Schimmelman reached into the display case with practiced hand and scooped up their choices in thin, white bakery tissue paper. There was a moment of buyer's remorse while one changed his order and the other wailed because his brother was copying. Lynette sighed and said, I know, sugar is a bad idea, but I had to have a coffee and I couldn't bring them into this divine bakery and not let them have a cookie. Hey, you'll get no argument from me. Aunt Nancy is doing pretty well. Mom will be back Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember which. Anything going on in the old neighborhood? She looked surprised for a second and said, In their neighborhood? No, but Marcus, that's it. Hand over the cookie. You may be able to get it after dinner if you can ride home without picking at your little brother. I'm sorry, Leah. I have to get these monsters out of here. She managed to pay Mrs. Schimmelman, grab her coffee, and wrangle her crew out the door without spilling, dropping, or losing anything, or anyone. I stand in awe of Lynette's multitasking skills. I half expected Mrs. Schimmelman to share her views on parenting with me after they left. She's as generous with her opinions as she is with her portions, but she was busying herself slicing turkey and getting out condiments. I opened the paper and scanned the headlines. Trick-or-treat hours had been set by the city council, a car had fallen into a sinkhole on Maple Street, a pot-bellied pig was used to assault a man in a domestic dispute, and Mrs. Hanson's first-grade class had participated in a trip to the zoo in Madison. A busy week, indeed. I turned to the inside pages and checked the obituaries. It's an old habit I can't seem to break. My first assignment at my first newspaper, which happened to be the Himmel Times Weekly, was to write the obituaries. I'd envisioned covering police news, or at least a lively city council meeting, not dull, dead people stuff. When I had balked, my boss brought me up short. Every obituary is the story of a person's life. It's their final story. It's something their families keep and reread and pass on. It's a marker for their memories. It's not a throwaway job. You need to do it right, and you need to can the attitude. Understand? I did. Ever since then, I'd never been able to put aside a newspaper without at least scanning the obituaries as a small way of paying respect to all those life stories. As I looked through them, one notice surprised me. I put the paper aside and saw that my sandwich was ready. Mrs. Schimmelman, what happened to Dwayne Stanton? It says he died suddenly. Heart attack? Oh, yeah. Terrible that was. No heart attack. He fell from that bird-watching place. Watching birds. It's crazy. She shook her head. That's awful. He was a quirky guy, but I got a kick out of him. What do I owe you? $4.50. And I give you pumpkin walnut cookie for free. Welcome home. I pulled into the parking lot behind my apartment and was just hauling my suitcase out when a familiar voice called to me. Leah, what are you doing here? I live here, Courtney, remember? I thought you were fishing in Canada with your grandma. It was typical of Courtney Fensterman, a self-absorbed blonde who never really pays attention to anything that doesn't center on her, to mash half-heard information into her own particular version of fake news. I was in Michigan taking care of my aunt. I yanked the suitcase out and shut the door. Then I pulled the handle up, ready to head inside the back door to my loft. Aren't you even going to ask me what I'm doing here on a Saturday? Her pretty but vapid face had taken on a frown, and her blue eyes held reproach. I noticed then that she had a cardboard box in her arms. Okay, I'll bite. What are you doing here? Well. She paused and shifted the box, then handed it to me. Could you hold this for a minute? It's really heavy. Reflexively, I grabbed it, looked down, and saw that it appeared to contain the vast makeup collection Courtney kept in her desk drawer, along with some framed photos, at least half of the pens owned by the Himmel Times Weekly, and several boxes of Junior Mints. What are you doing, moving out? Duh, yes, keep up, Leah. Wait, what? Courtney leaving had long been my dream when I still worked at the Times. It seemed unfair that it should happen after I left. Rebecca is just so mean.